Greetings everyone, here's Lodric again, and this is a game War in the Pacific Admits Edition. This is my play by email match against KilRoy. He is the commander of the Allied forces, and for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is scenario 1 with no modification, but on the new version 27. So, we will see if KilRoy operates his carriers still near Nomaya, and if my army forces on on New Caledonia are able to take Nomaya city. First, one of my submarines find a AO. This is most likely to refuel the enemy carrier fleet. It's now burning and sinking. And the next tanker, a normal tanker, getting auto-intercepted south of Australia. This is now Allied torpedo boats running in one of my local minesweepers. Not sure. Oh no, yeah. This is east end of Java. But none of the ships are really powerful enough to kill each other. This is the other topic. This is one of my patrol boats running into American battleships, Idaho and Mississippi. That is of course the other topic. This is maybe the bombardment force attacked Marshall Islands, or this is already the next one. I don't know. Soon we will know. Now it's a very small bombardment force, only destroyers. I think their guns are not really a big issue. So the tanker or AO will just go down, or something else. And again, these torpedo boats and my local minesweeper. Now attack on a destroyer, but failed. But I2 intercept the cargo ship. And it looks like it's loaded with fuel, or partly at least with fuel, also burning and sinking. And the next cargo ship. So I2 finish off 2 cargo ships out of Pearl Harbor. This is likely out of Pearl Harbor supply fuel transport for Australia or source Pacific Island bases. Air war. Okay, today out of Palming, some torpedo bombers. And here is already a not so well looking cargo ship, and now it's torpedo hit. This is that one. This was one torpedo hit enough to sink this cargo ship. Okay. Now bombardment in China. Every day again. Also, this one base force out of Victoria Point. I think it's time to end it. forces in the deep jungle are very hard to hit, so I need to send in some Thai ground troopers to catch them. Not really, I mean, it doesn't matter, they cannot block all of the railways, but they're blocking one railway. So this is a British attack out of Batavia, attacking me here in the mountain. Mountain is of course good terrain for hiding, so not much damage. So no carrier strike so far. My own carriers are on the way to the Marshall Islands to hopefully intercept some enemy landing forces. It looks like there's really no airstrike again. So maybe KilRoy called back his carriers already to Sydney, maybe rearm, refuel, I don't know. Maybe he also don't want to engage my carriers now and focus more or less to reinforce his position on the Maya. This is Nanyang, the Japanese the Kwantung Army here, 3rd Army headquarters. All these Chinese units are more or less trapped. They don't have really logistic supply line. Maybe here over the mountains, but this is poor flow of supplies. Today, one corps getting completely. The amount of units KilRoy loses is at least one corps, maybe even 2. And also this Dutch base force finally gave up. So everything east of Surabaya is destroyed. Aichang, I tried to storm this town, the 11th Army. I can take the fort, but my casualties are too high to maintain this normally. Even if I kill here Chinese units, I lose equally numbers on disabled, so I must rebuild my forces. So maybe I can do this once per week or every 2 weeks. I don't know. This is the Chinese Expeditionsarmee, so commanded by the 13th Japanese Army. This is a cleanup force. This is an easy victory, and all this Chinese forces getting finally destroyed with only light losses on my side. Some forces are still able to fall back. Yeah. In Surabaya, Battle of Surabaya. The first Battle of Surabaya, I blow up the fort. Casualties are okay, more or less 1-to-1, but I can take the fort down, and I think this will help me for the next turn. Yeah, could be better, but it's also not so bad. Some bombardment Aichang. So the Chinese forces have still more attack value than the Japanese, so but I have something. Bombardment Hanoi, so there's a HQ plus 2 Chinese broken corps, but yeah, attack value is clearly in favor for the Chinese. because this Vietnamese troops, I think they have the same fighting cap level of like the Chinese units. So it is for really not a unit to shine at the battlefield. It's a police force, like a Thai unit or Chinese, Japanese armies. So, no big battle, but some successful submarine operations. Air war was the minimum. So more losses for both sides. I can think AO and the tanker. The tanker is officially not sunk, but I mean, I hear it, but the AO is okay. This is one of the smaller AOs. AOs are normally more valuable, have a higher value points than tankers, than to other cargo ships. I lose a patrol boat. 14-inch, of course, is a little too strong for this kind of ship. Nanyang, I had a battle. There's a lot of Chinese forces, but they are more or less trapped. They can get supplies here over this small road, but not many. And if they fall back here, it's all clear terrain. So I can still bombard them if they fall or try to escape you or get pushed out. The big Chinese army is now here in Nanchang, so I more or less come in and retake here this city. So now the Chinese are here. For sure, I think then KilRoy will maybe attack me here, but this keeps his forces busy and maybe my forces busy, and we will see who can maintain here the attack value over weeks and months. If all of his Chinese forces are here concentrating in the center, I can simply outflank, maybe. Maybe not. In Burman, the English army is broken, is trying to retreat, and I try, of course, on my own to take this hex, because then the Chinese or the British forces are all here trapped and hard to supply and maybe starve over time. Here's nothing. I have here my army, and I maybe try to outflank here the forces so that these units are not falling back to Batavia, more to the center. So I invest a little more time, and I must also unload more troops. So my attempt to take Surabaya failed today, but well, it's a question of time, I would say. It's this is one division plus and one brigade. I think the most casualties are for my Navy Guard guys. They are dying more. They are softer, let's say this. So my division is more or less still full intact. They have fatigue, so maybe I must rest. Maybe I take once more, I don't know. No, I have no more clear indication on the on position of the enemy carrier fleet, so very likely maybe already on the way back to Sydney. My forces are closing in on the position, but I am here in combat mode because there was always airstrikes or bombardments by sea, so it cost me some time. But nearly no losses. Only the supplies are running slowly out. And here ships are running east, so maybe it was really only a lure away action. But now when my carriers are in the center of where I can go, turn around and help in New Caledonia, but I'm normally too weak to help here. Attack Fiji and try to mess up, or stay close to Marshall Islands to wait if there is more coming. Or maybe fall back to Rabaul and refuel and rearm first. Hard to say. This is always a decision the commander must choose, and at the end, if he's successful, everyone say he's great, and if he's failing, then everyone will doom him. Good. I think there was a question about my training. Nothing really too special. Of course, depending on the game. I keep here in Hiroshima, more or less, is my float plane training center. Mostly, depending on if I need something. But I reform here most of my float planes air wings all to 27 because it's the maximum you can do with a 24 scout cruiser. And this gives me more capacity. Then I load them always full, but not over full. I think there is a game rule that if you have more than you can gain 10 or 20% over, something like this. So I could get here 9 pilots more in, so this would be a third more. So you can go 30% over your capacity, but then you have a malus of your training chance to get a better skill. How much it is, if it's really better, I don't know. I don't know if it's... The biggest issue is these are all Navy pilots, and I'm very... Or I completely depleted my... No, wait. I don't know where was this replacement? Pilot replacement. Ah, yeah. You can see my pool is 0. I call in so many pilots that there's no pool left, and I even call some out of this 10 to 12. I think I'm not more sure if I think sometimes you can also do this. You can force pilots out of the training. Of course, this means that the pilots have less experience or skill points. But you can normally train your pilot in the training wing faster than in school. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, so here's my air, my float plane training school, and I train here normally first search, and then after search I let them train Navy attack, because if they search something and then they see enemy ships and they make a, well, by the way or on the run attack, Navy attack, and I think this is a Navy attack skill then, because then they try to bomb the ship. I don't know. You can also train your pilots here on sweep. This is, then you can make out of them fighter pilots. And Navy attack is because then you can use them for dive bomber or torpedo bomber. Of course, you cannot learn here torpedo attacks, but yeah. And then I have normally in my Mukden, in this case I have here now Mukden built airfield 8, because then you get double the aviation support, and you don't normally keep here so much aviation support, but I keep here some stuff. I don't want to make it over crazy and empty here all Manchukuo. Then, yeah. And here I train normally army pilot stuff, because so far I don't have the pilots, I mean the airframes. And second, I also don't need them. Depending on how the game is changing, you maybe want to bring your air wings at the front line, or I use them with Nate. Because Nate is never a fighter pilot, or fighter airframe. But for training, it's always fine. And so you have normally different positions. I have here normally Hiroshima and Tokyo on Japan, and Mukden for army stuff. But I also train a lot of in other bases, on Formosa or Canton later, or Shanghai. Bangkok, it can be training if there's nothing to do, or maybe Rangoon, Singapore. No, if there's really nothing to do, I always try to build my pilots up to what is possible. Many of the Japanese torpedo bomber pilots, they have a good skill for Navy bomben, Navy torpedo, sometimes also for ground bombardment, but often they're lacking Navy search. So I often train them Navy search, because this gives them normally the perfect, if not already done, they have a very high defense level. But I think Navy search is always for torpedo bomber very important, because if you don't find the target, then all his power is useless. And of course the defense value is nice, but if you are in the Nell is slow, no protection, No hit points. Only small machine guns. What you want to do? You die anyway. Good. Thank you. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.